I don't know if you're gonna see this voice memo, but I thought I was happy.
Are you happy?
I'm not happy at all.
The question is, are you happy?
I'm the happiest I've ever been right now.
P.S. Be the person who you'd want to meet because somebody needs you.
Welcome to Are You Happy? The Happy Hour.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Pretty good, and you?
Oh man, it's so good to see you. So good to meet you.
Oh, it's so good to meet you. Right back at you. You're doing great work.
I appreciate it, man. Well, it wouldn't be possible without you and everyone else with the monthly Patreon. That means so much to me. You have no idea. Without that, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you.
No, definitely going to keep it up for as long as possible. I think $3 is very reasonable. So I spend that that's nothing to me. So I'm happy to contribute.
Where in the world are you?
I am in beautiful Whittier, California.
Okay, very nice. Are you growing anything behind you there? I see some.
Oh no, these are just they're fake. They're fake. Okay. Yeah. I wish I had the patience to really take care of my plants, but I think that will come later. Once my kids are a little bit more grown, I'm trying to take care of them. I have 2 kids.
That's amazing. What are their names?
Levi is 6 and Leah is 4.
Oh, I like those names, Levi and Leah.
Yeah. So they're trying to be quiet over there in their playroom. And I was like, Daddy has a meeting, so just be quiet and I'll be right there in like a half hour. So they're all set up with their iPads and stuff.
Are you happy?
No, I'm not really happy. I'm working on it. But it's really tough to happiness is a really tough topic, and it's something that I've been wrestling with for a very long time. When I was 23 years old, I watched a movie that changed my life. It's called Into the Wild. And you've never heard of that movie?
I love that movie.
Oh, you love that movie. Yeah. It really, at the end of the movie, he realizes that happiness is only real when it's shared, and for me, I felt like, okay, I have the key to happiness. The key to happiness is sharing my happiness with other people. And although that was half true, I'm barely realizing the other element. And I think the other element is that you carry happiness inside you. It's just that there's situations in life and circumstances that block you from that happiness. So right now I'm trying to push aside all of those blockages and try to really look at things from a different perspective. I think perspective is everything. So I'm working on my happiness, because for a long time I thought happiness was sacrificing your life, sacrificing your time, your energy. I thought happiness was just to, do for others and live for others. But no, I'm realizing that if you're not happy and you don't function, how can you spread that to anyone else? Like you're going to give everything away and do yourself harm in the end, So I don't want to die and not have lived a happy life. I could live a productive life and a successful life and raise 2 beautiful kids by myself, but in the end, it won't matter if I wasn't happy along the way. So
you mentioned a lot of things. I'd like to know, if you're comfortable talking about it, what are some of the sources of your unhappiness?
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable. Some sources of my unhappiness are right now I'm getting my teaching credential to be a full-time teacher. I teach history right now for 7th grade middle school, and I need my credential in California. And I had no idea how hard it is to get a teaching credential. You have to take like 4 tests. You have to pay $150 for each of those tests. If you don't pass, you have to wait a month to study and pass them again, or try to pass them. So I think the school, is the struggle with school is just contributing to my unhappiness. I recently, I'm going through a divorce right now. I was married for 11 years, and this is really personal, but we were, once the pandemic happened, we started having really hard conversations, and we realized that life is short. And we asked ourselves, do we fully accept each other for who we are? And the answer was no. I didn't really fully accept her, and she didn't really fully accept me. And life is too short to not be fully accepted and loved and fully happy. So we made the decision that, to separate, and we're okay. Like, we're on good terms and everything, but we just, we don't want to live a kind of happy life or a kind of okay. We could have got by for like 40 more years together, but we decided that it would be best to love each other separately and get that divorce, and we'll be better parents, we'll be better humans. So going through a divorce is really hard to just go through that and deal with all of those emotions. And being in school right now is tough. Raising kids who are under like 10 years old, I think, is so tough, because you're always, they're always on. They always want to talk to you. They always want to play with you. It's never like, it's hard to find like me time. So, and I think the last thing is dealing with my beliefs and upbringing. I grew up in a very like strong morals, strong beliefs, belief in God, and I still believe in God, but I think a lot of practices haven't been true to me, or they haven't rung true in my life, and so I'm re-looking at my belief system, and that's scary. So I think all of it is just a work in progress. I'm generally a happy person, but I think there are circumstances in my life right now that I just need to face, and sometimes that's not a happy thing to do. It comes from a happy place, but there are struggles and emotions and other emotions other than happiness that try to like overpower.
I get it. I'd like to know a little more about what you mean when you say you guys didn't accept each other for who you were. How do you get to that realization after a decade?
Yeah, that's a great question. So going into the marriage, we had this idea that we would blossom. We were young. I was 25. Well, actually, when we met, she was 18. I was 20. When we got married, I was 25 and she was 24. And we had this idea that in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from that time, we were going to blossom into a certain type of person, or some of our immaturities or habits were going to change and evolve. And although we evolved as individuals, we still were the same people. She still likes coffee. I don't really like coffee. I prefer a smoothie, and she still likes, she's still an introvert and I'm an extrovert. She still enjoys being home and snuggly watching a movie, and I enjoy the outdoors, and those fundamental things never changed. Although we matured and became our own individual, responsible human adult, those fundamental things didn't change. And I think deep down inside, we wanted either to meet in the middle, or to actually completely change those things about each other. And when you realize that all you're doing is harming each other if you're secretly wishing to change someone, it takes a lot of bravery to say, that's not okay. We love each other, we care about each other, but this underlining wanting to change you and not accepting you is just it's doing more damage than good.
That makes sense to me. Okay. Sounds like you have a lot going on in your life right now.
I do. I mean, I think everyone does, I think everyone has a lot on their plate if they really think about it. And that's why I'm willing to share, because
right.
I think people can relate, and I think happiness is an important thing. Before I put happiness aside, I said, I figured it out. The Into the Wild book and movie told me that I just have to do happiness with other people and I'll be good. So I thought I figured it out for a long time. And then when I realized I wasn't really happy, I thought, okay, I need to take a second look at this. And that's how I found you and your channel, your YouTube channel, your TikTok. And it just led me to you. And I love what you're doing, because I think happiness is possible for everyone all the time. And my goal is to be happy always. And right now there are things in the way and perspectives that I need to change, or relationships that I need to separate and have boundaries with. And so I'm working on all of that. And it is actually making me a lot happier. And one thing I do want to say is that I think one of the fundamentals of happiness is acceptance, and just accepting yourself, accepting the way things are, not settling. There's a difference between acceptance and settling. I believe we should just, first of all, accept, hey, this is the situation. This is where I'm at. And out of that, I think will come other emotions, But if you never accept that, or you never come to truths with the fundamentals of the core of who you are or how you are, you're going to miss it every time. So, yeah.
It's probably the same answer, but if you had a message for the entire world, what would it be?
Accept yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself. And once you do all of that, you'll be able to give of yourself unto others.
And if today was the last day of your life, what would you want to be remembered as or by?
I would want to be remembered as a loving father, a kind person, a fun teacher, and a person who cares about others and their well-being.
Wow, it's incredible.
I care so much about people, and I truly believe that happiness is obtainable for everyone, and that we can be happy all the time. It's in us. If it was outside of us and we were grabbing towards it, and that's hard to have all the time, grab. But when it's in us, we don't have to grab. We can just access it,
Exactly. I always say happiness is within you, behind a lock only you have the key to. And It's whenever you want to unlock it, it's right there. The key is in your hand. Just go for it. It's a choice to just say, okay, starting today, I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to put it behind. And from this point forward, this is my life now. And it's very difficult for people to make that choice, but it's available to anybody.
It is. I completely agree with you. It's available. And I think once we get that mentality that it's there and it's up to us to access it every day, I think people will, people could say, oh, but you don't know my life. And I just explained my life, so I don't care if I don't know your life. Like, we all have stuff, we all have problems, and it's just the way we look at life. And I think life is too short to dwell on the unfortunate, and life's too short to have a negative mindset. So if we can program our brains to say, you know what, we have a choice to be happy, I think that will make the world a better place.
100%. I'm sure your students love you.
Hey, I've gotten a lot of thank you cards and stuff. You know, one thing about teaching too is if anyone's in the teaching profession, they know what a struggle it is, and how much we give of ourselves. And it's really rare that we get anything back. But I think what makes a good teacher is a teacher that looks at the students as humans and as our future. And I think with those two perspectives, I think it will really change the way we teach and from the place we teach. I teach my students as if they're my own kids, you know, and that care and that perspective really makes all the difference because my students end up feeling like I care, and they understand, oh, Mr. Mark cares, you know? And so it's not a fake care. It's out of me remembering how I felt when I was in middle school and me wanting to treat others like I would treat my kids, you know? So yeah, I love teaching. It took me a long time to become a teacher because I was into sales and marketing. I was in Hollywood for a while. I was in like, you know, I even did like a pet company where we had these carriers for like cats and stuff. So I've done a lot of random things, and being a teacher is finally a profession where I feel like I'm home and this is my passion. So it's natural to me.
What were you doing in Hollywood?
I was a public relations assistant. So I worked for a production company called Higher Ground Entertainment, and I was their PR rep. And I would, you know, we would work on TV shows and things like that. And it was fun. It was really fun. But that business you need tough skin for, because there's a lot of people who you think you could trust, and then you end up not, you know, realizing you can't trust them. So it's tough. I think it's changed, you know, since I was involved in it. I hope for the better, but yeah, it was a tough industry for sure.
I totally get it. I worked in the film industry. I kind of still am, but it's just my own company. But I worked for a movie studio. I worked for production companies. I totally get it. The thick skin thing.
Yeah.
I don't get why that's a thing in Hollywood. Like, why people have to be such jerks.
You're right. I mean, or two-faced.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like me or you don't like my work, just say it.
Exactly. You know? Applications, when I was starting to apply for work, I would see applications that say must have thick skin. I'm like, Jesus, you know, because especially in the agencies, like they're so tough on their assistants.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, The Devil Wears Prada is a movie that like kind of emulates that, and like she has to have thick skin and be comfortable with herself, and it's tough. I mean, ultimately you realize the purpose of it. You're sacrificing so much and you're developing so many skills that it ends up paying off in the end, because you produce a great product and you're part of something great that reaches the masses. So, but yeah, I don't think it has to be so, you know, so rigid and hard, you know, it doesn't have to be. I think work should be fun.
Right.
I don't know. That's just I mean, being a teacher is no different, because you have all of these other teachers who, you know, are locked in on their tenure and they're never going to get fired and they don't care about school and student. It's just like everywhere you go, I think that's why it all comes down to what's inside of you. Are you accessing your happiness? Are you accessing your forgiveness? Are you being kind to people? And to me, I think in my search for happiness, the golden rule has been coming up a lot. Like, do unto others as you would want them done to you. I think that will solve injustice, racism, everything. If you could think whatever you want, you could not like a certain person or whatever, but I think if you treat them kindly, at the end of the day, that's the minimum. And I think that will help, So I think we should treat others how we want to be treated.
I love that. And I think that's a great place for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
I definitely want to talk again. I send an email out once a month that kind of says like what we have going on, and always has a link to my calendar. So if there's ever anything you want to share with the Are You Happy audience, anything you want to promote, or just a new thought that you think will help others, please book a call and we'll talk.
Yeah. Thanks, Theo. Honestly, it was a pleasure, and I was looking forward to this since I booked it. And you are giving of yourself, and you're giving of your time, and it's not going unnoticed. Like people like me, who's just an average person in the world, we are getting a dose of happiness just by watching what you're doing. So thank you for spreading that. And regardless of if people are not happy or happy, we're still feeling good about ourselves because we're relating as a human race. So
You totally get it.
yeah, Theo, you're awesome. Can we take a screenshot really quick?
Of course.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, I pressed F3, not, okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Nice, got it.
Dude, well, whenever I'm in California, we'll take a real selfie.
Oh, I would love that. Honestly, let me know and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll talk to you
Great
soon.
meeting you. Yeah, take care. Bye.
The Are You Happy Hour and Are You Happy Hotline are brought to you by Are You Happy Podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media such as Instagram and subscribe via your favorite podcast platform. Are You Happy, the docuseries, can also be found on social media such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. See you guys next time for another wonderful episode of Are You Happy? The Happy Hour.